Hi YouTube, how are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. Exercise is done, little bit of housework. I'm in the middle of making a potato soup, so um I have some time. I thought, oh, it's time to make a video. Break time. So, um yeah, I remember I was telling you about that copper wire that I have going into the ground to ground me to ground myself. I've been using it during the day because of my allergies to metal. Then I can wash the effects off at the end of the day, whatever it is, if it helps or not. I think that has been helping. Doug had given me the wire, but then I took a copper bracelet that I have, my wolf bracelet. I don't know if you can see the little wolves on there. Probably not. Nah, it might be a little too shiny. But there's a wolf with a moon and yeah. Um oh, he was upside down. I don't know. Let's see if I can get him in there. I think I kind of might have there when I turn him just a little bit, but an engraved wolf. So I have a wolf coat and I had a wolf blanket, but my oldest son talked me out of it. And I thought, yeah, he's kind of like a wolf too. So he needed it more than I did, I think. So anyway, yeah, so he got my wolf blanket. But yeah, I think it's helping. I lay the length of my arm on it. Of course, I can put it around me or, on my ankle or whatever. But um, yeah, I think, Doug swore it gives him more energy, that he needs less sleep, and could be. I was up pretty early, but then laid back down. I got the fire going, 'cause the gas came on, and we've got to fix the gas line before we can hook our big tank up to it. So I didn't want to run out, so I don't have to buy another small tank before the big one gets hooked up. So anyway, so I jumped up, got the fire going, and laid back down, but then I was up again about about an hour after that. So yeah. Yeah. Um up with the sunrise. First up in the dark, but yeah, it was weird. It's happened before. It's not like, it's strange or anything, but it does wake you up a little bit, 'cause to get it going, you have to sit there and make sure that it's not going to smolder. You got to make sure the log starts with fire, not just smoldering like low coals. You got to have that thing ripping, and then you can shut it down, the stove, so it doesn't smoke, so it doesn't go out and smoke out your house and all that. So it takes a little bit of time, but not a big deal. I do feel pretty good. Sometimes getting up like that will kind of distress me, even like when I was a kid and it was like nap time. That was brutal. I couldn't even do it. I'd sit in my room. I'd line up my stuffed animals and play drums on them, and I just could not just lay there like that. You know, it was hard to do. I ended up going to this hospital and having my stomach pumped because I got into some aspirins, and they didn't know how many I had eaten or if I had taken any of them, or I don't remember if I had or not. I was too little to be. Um, I was putting them in piles at my aunt's house. It was a big jar, one of them, and back in the day, and I was putting them in piles. I don't know if I was counting or what I was doing. I just remember getting up on the medicine cabinet, getting them things, going back on a bed and putting them in little piles till I got caught. And then my mom and her sister freaked out. So, yeah, that's what they get. Man, that did hurt too, having that pipe shoved down my throat into my stomach. They gave me a sucker. Jeez. Open wide. Daddy's driving. Wow. Anyway. Yeah, Doug and I were talking particle physics this morning, like, okay, here's this thing like there is no gravity. He's one of them, and what shape is Earth and all that. And he is just effing me, by the way, because he's not ignorant of any kind of physics or chemistry or none of it. And a true alchemist. And so we're chatting about that, and I'm like, oh, okay, so if I like throw something in the air over your head, there's no gravity. And but when I said, all right, I'd just take you up to a building and toss you off, and then you can tell me there's no gravity on your way down when you're trying to fly, you know. Then I left the conversation. Then I came back and I told him, let's just put it this way, whether you want to call it a grave situation that how people are bound here, or you want to call it gravity, or you want to call it antimatter, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. you know, that type of thing. So, yeah, I'm fascinated with electrogravitics, that use of that combined with um, could be electronics, could be um, hydropneumatics, like air and fluid mixed, that type of, all of that type of stuff, and mechanical stuff. I almost went in the Air Force twice. I took my test and passed with like I could have been officer material as far as like my knowledge of if I had done what I wanted to do was actually just to work on the cockpits of jets and maybe helicopters and learn more about animal husbandry, the care of animals, which would have been something that they would have it would have been something in the area of um, like when I worked with for a veterinarian. I don't think I wanted to go like that far with that, but I could have made a career. But I had things happen in my life two different times that um, I wasn't able to do it. The second one, my kid was little, and the dad came home with my car keys and no car. Like, okay, buddy, I'm not leaving my baby nowhere with no one, that type of thing. So, yeah. Mm, boy, I was stupid. Stupid, stupid. Was. But not that stupid because I had to break his leg to get him away from me. But, that's what happens when you push somebody in a corner and they're sick of being pushed. Or, like my kids were in literal danger. That's when I got dangerous. So, still to this day, with those feelings, with the people that have done things that know that they shouldn't even exist for the things that they have done, them type of people. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I have Doug's on the way. I made a list. I'm going to make, I hope, what is going to be the most fantabulous carrot cake ever created. is what I'm going for. Or he's going for the ingredients with vanilla cream cheese frosting. I'm not making it right away or anything. I just want to have the ingredients around because I've been craving carrot cake and nobody makes a real good one. Unless you can find a Pepperidge Farm carrot cake, they're pretty good. And Grand Casino, where I worked, they make a badass carrot cake. Oh, so good. We went and had, it was on an anniversary, jumbo shrimps and a drink and something else. And shared a piece of carrot cake that was that big, you know, huge. Expensive, but yeah, it was worth it. It's like their pina coladas. I have not had one forever, and I usually make my own. I tend to bar before. I didn't drink when I was behind the bar. One time I wasn't old enough. I was just shy of a year from where it was legal for me to. I could serve and work behind the bar on the um, on sale part of the establishment, but on the off sale, I wasn't allowed to sell any of that. It's like, well, whatever. I made a better living on the other side of that operation anyway. And then my ex mother in law had a bar named Duffy's. Really cool little bar in Bridger, Montana. Um, I there was a penthouse up above in apartments. I had apartment and worked not full time for her, but I would do things like sometimes 10 bar, but I would do a lot of like her running, which was awesome. I'd go get supplies and I'd get to drive her 1977 Cadillac. It was yellow with white interior. God, it's a badass car. That was so cool. I mean, when you're a young adult. I wasn't even 20, I was like 19, 18, 19. Shit, that was fun. Good times. Yeah, that was pretty neat. But anyway, so yeah, unless I make a pina colada, I've only found maybe two places in my life that make a really good one. The same with Bloody Marys. I like them occasionally. Haven't had one for 20 years or more, but yeah, that's occasional. But I don't have a drinking problem. It's just one day. I used to drink like once in a while. Oh, I used to drink every day for a while. That's a long time ago. But it wasn't, I started drinking whiskey to get vicious intentionally because I knew what it did to me and I needed that out of protection. That's a real story. So I used that drug. I used it. That's using. Totally using. I was a user. mm, Coffee. Cheers. Uh Report came out, medical report. That's going to tell you one thing I've been saying forever, and another thing will be concerning these, including the smoke. But oh, now coffee's good for you. There's about 12 different things that it cures, including cancer. Yeah. Oh, gee, I had no clue. You know, same with nicotine and the carcinogens. This is all natural. Um, I don't buy it's not cigarette tobacco, it's pipe cut, but it only says that on the bag, otherwise they wouldn't be able to get away with selling it, it's doesn't have all all, it has no poisons in it. It's all natural. It's just tobacco leaf. That's it. Well, if you find things like natural filters and stuff that, because other if you're not careful, you'll be um, smoking through fiberglass, which is not good for you. But people are going to find out. It's like I had walking pneumonia, and occasionally that liquid, well, it never goes away. It's a virus. It's a um, organism. Once it's in you. And there isn't anything you can do about it except you need to keep active. The minute you like have any kind of pneumonia and you're um, immobile, the liquid's going to build up in you and you'll die. You'll suffocate or drown, you know. But every once in a while, um, well, the smoking does coat it anyway. It keeps the moisture level down and soothes that irritating feeling of the spot where then I had my lungs burnt too, chemically burnt. Had a lot of weird shit going on, but there is times that smoke can help you in your life. Times, not, continuously, but anyway, or not. I think it depends on a person's mindset. Also depends on how much science they actually know. I, I, I never listen to doctors. They're going to listen to me because I know my body better than they do. And I know more science than they do too. But either we would talk on the same level or we won't talk at all. My thing isn't I'm going to memorize my Latin so I can spit out, which I can, the proper pronunciation of a drug, you know, which is weird when you go to nursing school. That's something that is part of the course that you memorize a certain amount, like a couple hundred different drugs, in different languages and the meaning of it and different things, It's like, okay, that's a little weird. It was a little weird. But of course, I mean, you got it when you're doing charts too, and you got to know um what somebody's on and what it does to them and different things, but I don't mean to always be so down on doctors, but I've worked in places where we were supposed to have like before they came on their shift and before we left ours, and we would get together, and it was supposed to be the doctors and the nurses talking about the residents. And the doctors, a lot of the times, felt that they didn't have to participate in that care of those people. And so, and other things that they would do. So when I ran across, it depends on their attitude and if they value another person's skills within that same environment. Now, I have been valued before and I've been devalued, so I guess it all depends. But I know people that have degrees that, like when um, we had to take stomach tissue off fatty tissue off a stomach of a frog and suture it back up and make sure your animal lived. Nobody else in the class had a live animal when they were done except for me. So it's like, and some of these people went on to be surgeons. That's a little scary, isn't it? You know, at least it made me nervous. It's like, maybe science isn't your thing, you know? any of it. There's some people. Yeah, I'm to Doug. I'm like, no, Doug. Lobotomies are not a part of brain surgery. Not in our country. Well, chemical lobotomies. Yeah, that's a daily thing. A lot of things going on in my mind today. Crazy to think that all life begins with like a germ, the equivalent of a germ. And the combination, like if you think of yourself as an organism that is like a coral reef onto itself, with a brain and a heart and a soul in there, a little more complicated than that, but, mm, in some respects. I got a marriage proposal today by a kid. It's like, come on. And he's like, when you get older, somebody's smile like yours could brighten up even the oldest person or something like that. I'm thinking you're young enough to be my kid. you know, it was funny though, 'cause he's just out there fishing. He said, I am searching, haha. I wrote, thank you. Good luck in your search. It's not really flattering. I mean, God knows what this person is. You never know. It's more um kind of pathetic. I mean, yeah, I'm looking for um quality in friendships, and I'd rather be alone than make myself susceptible to somebody else that isn't quite there, you know, or doesn't even want to be there, you know. And I believe that people like that will gravitate together, if we actually see the other person's potential or, where they're at, you know. So I made a promise a long time ago, and with people not understanding that there's already one world religion, it's never been anything else, but they keep playing. Or they think they're God. It's like, dude, what part of the sciences do you know well? Even one subject. And these people out there saying like they're Jesus Christ, or pretending they're the Christ, or pretending that they're hearing from God, and it's like, what part of God's science do you really know? What do you know about energy? Like, do you know how the coil or voltage regulator works on your car? Do you have any concept of how the um, rear end and transmission, that universal joint, what that's for, how things go, any kind of science, any kind of like putting things together from the ground up in any extreme. Do you got any kind of thoughts on that, like that one molecule within yourself that spark of life that mankind cannot create. You know, do people think like that? Yeah. Um, yeah, I feel so lonely some days, like that. And that's the type of friends I'm looking for. Somebody that would either listen to me discuss something like that or would get involved in those conversations. Let's talk nanoparticles, nanobiology, microbiology, and antimatter. And I just got startled. He's cold. It's cold out there. You just made me jump. Do you want to say hi to YouTube? Oh, he's got wood. He brought wood in. Yeah, it is cold out. It was like, oh, it's 7 degrees right now. It was 4 degrees last night. But when I went in the kitty house this morning, and they've got windows that are front facing into the east, so the sun comes in there bright and early, and it was about 40 degrees in there. Then they got separate little houses I have stuffed with straw and straw on the floor, and it was pretty toasty compared to being outside. So yeah, they're happy. They got good coats too, and yeah. We didn't even know if we would have a vehicle that started today because he didn't have the diesel plugged in, the diesel truck, and his other truck. He didn't know if that'd even start. So I don't know. We've got other vehicles, but those are like for wintertime driving. Anyway, yeah, when I used to get scared, it would just like automatically piss me off. I can be startled, but it's not always the prettiest thing. Somebody hid and scared me one time when I was pregnant, and the baby hit the top of my womb. That really hurt. I was about 6 months pregnant, I think. Yeah, it was bad. Ooh, I was going to talk about fear. Somebody had written, I'm not even recalling the name right now, but I had a video about the groups of people that are helping, like Billy Carson lie about chronology and timelines, uh, the twisting of the texts, and the different things that these groups of people are actually getting paid to help each other. Um, but I had somebody, and the knowledge that Jason from Archaics has on chronology and languages, migration, physics, all kinds of stuff. But I had this person say to me, they wrote that Jason is terrified to debate them, whoever you are. You don't have a name. Um, I said, I don't see any kind of fear in Jason. Now, if you're talking about Jason doesn't know how to put on a tutu and do a first step, second step, um, this is somewhat of a joke. Anyway, if he doesn't know how to eh, dance like a sugar plum fairy in the Nutcracker Suite, he probably won't debate you. But if you're talking about something that is timeline, calendar changes, um, history manipulation, or any of his uh, outstanding evidence that he brings to the table for truth. He's not afraid of anybody. Terrified? I might jump, get startled, but I don't fear anything. You think Jason's terrified of anything? Honestly. To this person who wrote that, I am a martial artist and I have just been dying to spar with somebody. Every time I make a video, I tell you where I live. You're more than welcome to come here. We'll have a cup of coffee and freshen up and go out and spar in my yard. What do you think? Nobody that I hold a great reverence for is terrified of anything. We're warriors. Terrified doesn't even come into the picture. You might want to reword that. And what topic are you talking about that Jason's terrified to debate? You know, even if it's something he doesn't know, he'd probably surprise you with the amount of books that he's read. He probably knows it anyway. He might not bake a loaf of bread with sourdough starter, but he's probably holding that knowledge in there, you know. I know he's read the Anarchist Cookbook, so for sure he's got that, like us little bomb makers, chemically speaking, inside ourselves or not, you know. So terrified doesn't even come into the picture. That kind of made me laugh. It's like terrified. It's not fucking scared of shit. Scared to debate with all the evidence that he has, contrary to popular opinions and textbooks that are pushed from the Institute, and you say somebody's terrified? Somebody I respect is terrified. That's funny. Okay, not too close to the sun. Yep, want to say hi, YouTube? No, I don't. Bye, YouTube. He said goodbye. YouTubey. Tooby dooby doo. So anyway, yeah, getting goofy now. Oh, anyway, cheers again, everybody. So I just wanted to touch on that for the person that wrote that. No, Jason's not scared of you. Give me a fucking break. There's only people scared out there are the ones that don't have a name out here. That's who's scared. Not the ones who tell you peace and love. Have a good night or day wherever you're at. From Pine City, Minnesota. I live on Tunnel Road. I'm super easy to find right off the freeway, 4 miles. So easy to find. Not a joke. If you're close enough, I'll meet you. No, 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 no. Because if with my art and my invitation to spar, um, if it weren't just a sparring match and somebody wanted to get stupid, I'd rather be on my own property. I'd rather have you on my property. But if I invite you, then the no trespassing sign won't apply. Actually, we'd probably have to write up a little bit of a contract. Or not. I'm game if you are. You feel froggy, leap if you can. terrified. Fuck that. That's so fucking funny. I was gonna copy it and go put it on Jason's channel, and it's like, nah, he knows you clowns. He's too smart for that shit anyway. It's about done with y'all. If you don't know what is right and true and good, then you're not playing no part in that. Um, then you're just not a part of it. That's just the way it is. So, anyway, I will talk to you tomorrow, pretty sure. Have a really good night or day, wherever you're at. Terrifying. Oh, brr.